Welcome. It's me, your favorite host. The homophobic, racist, transphobic, xenophobic, furry phobic, unless you're a My Little Pony furry. Anti-Semitic, homophobic, niggerphobic. What else? I can't think of any more phobes. If there was another phobe, I would just immediately call myself that. I wouldn't even think about what the phobe is. I'd just be like, nope, that's me. But anyway, we're back. We got some Fuentes. We got some Fuentes for the background today.
Pretty fly white guy sent $10. Panicking might be the gayest word ever invented. Imagine using it seriously. Clown face emoji.
It's all dumb. I mean, everything
Star Wars
Trump
is
does
gay.
is just grating. This thank you for your attention.
Anything Star
The
Wars
way he
is
signs
homosexual.
all his posts now, it's
Star
just
Wars is
grating.
homosexual.
I hope I'm not the only one. I can't be the only one. Everything that he says and does now is just grating to me. This
Star Wars was
glib.
slightly respectable when it
Everything
was
he does is so glib.
badass
It's
and
honestly
patriarchal.
insulting. It's like,
Even
hey,
then it
you're
was
the
gay.
fucking president, you know? Hey, asswipe, you're the fucking president. Can you act like it? And, you know, I'm not really that guy. For a long time, he was a little funny. I get it if he's a little rough around the edges. That's one thing. Being a little rough around the edges, being a little bit informal, that's different than being fucking glib. And he has totally crossed the line into this flanderized, glib, unserious
Flanderized.
clown. And it honestly just infuriates me. He's turned it into a joke, and it's just insulting. These posts that he writes, they're not funny. They're not pithy. At one time, they were pithy, they were short, they were punchy, and they were genuinely funny. Now they're tired, they're stale, they're repetitive, they're rambly and monotonous and boring and not funny and just glib and unserious.
Glib.
And almost like
a good word.
smug. There's almost this like belligerent smugness. It's like a hostile smugness. In the old days, it was kind of this like funny, kind of bringing people in on the joke. Now it's almost like a hostile smugness, it's like a form of aggression, and I don't like it. I don't think it's cute. I don't think it's charming. I don't think it's funny. I think it's fucking irritating, and I think it's stupid. You're not as funny as you think you are, and you're just annoying. You're just turning into a big fat nuisance. I'm getting really sick of him as a guy, and I never thought I would because, believe me, I was a huge Trump glazer when I was a kid, when I was younger, and I was a fan, and I thought I would never be saying these things. But man, I see the stuff that he posts and the way that he talks, and I'm like, show some fucking decorum, man. You're the president of the United States. And I get it. You want to be funny. You want to be a little informal. That's one thing. Now it feels like he takes nothing seriously. Now everything's a big joke, and it's not even funny. He's borderline demented at this point. He's nearly as bad as Biden.
Smarty sent $10. Meshugana. I'm not JE with HIMROM and C and Holy C.
Dude, that was crazy. I'm Roman Catholic. I'm a Catholic. My parents have been here for 500 years.
No, I'm not Jewish. My parish is the Basilica of the Annunciation in Nazareth, where St. Gabriel announced to the Blessed Mother that she would be the Mother of God. I am Roman Catholic, and I fight in the IDF.
Jewish?
My mother's family has been here 500 years. Don't tell me I'm a Jew. I'm not a Jew.
Oy vey, I'm a Catholic. I'm not a Jew. Yeah, I was on Alex Jones and the InfoWars
Catholics are
callers.
Jews.
They're a little bit behind the rest of us. Let's put it that way. And some guy calls in. He's like, I'm a dual citizen. I live here in Israel. I'm in the IDF, and these people are animals.
These people want to murder children, and you get a whole new perspective when you've lived in Israel which I've lived here 12 years now.
And he goes, and I'm a Catholic. I'm like, you're a fucking Jew. I said, yeah, this guy's a Jew.
How do you know this guy's Jewish?
He just sounds Jewish. Alex is like, why do you think that? I'm like, because he
Based.
sounds like a Jew. I'm a Catholic.
Base.
Israeli dual citizen.
I just read that.
Yeah, he fucking
Oh, no,
looks
this
like
is
a
a new
fucking
one.
really good.
I'm a Catholic Israeli dual citizen in the IDF, and the Muslims want to kill us all. How dare you call me a Jew for having the accent of a
No, but Catholics are Jewish. That's why.
Yeah.
It's because Jewish sympathizers go to the Catholic Church.
My father is a Catholic from Texas. You want to know the parish he attended? St. Elizabeth Ann Seton in Plano.
No, I'm not saying you're lying. That's very interesting.
Yeah, was that a Texas accent? That didn't sound like a Texas accent. He sounded like he was from Brooklyn. even though his dad's from Texas and his mom's from Israel, and he sounds like this. Isn't it weird that Ben Shapiro also has a New York accent, even though he's born in L.A.?
Francis of
Makes
Assisi
you
sent
think.
$10. The way Alex.
'Cause all the
first
Jews
part
live
was
in
such
New
a
York,
phenomenal super
obviously.
chats. Great minds think.
So
That
they
wasn't
pick up
even
their
a crash
accents
out.
from other
Alex is
friends.
far more polite than me.
Other,
I'm
their
a
other
total
Jew
dick.
friends
And I
like
could kinda sense
pass
that,
on
like,
the New York
'cause I was
accent.
getting ready to really crash out on those callers, and Alex was like being polite to them. So
I was a Charlie Kirk Ben Shapiro bro and used to think you were evil and a Nazi. After the H1B debacle, I started watching you and found you to be really misunderstood and on point. You got me back going to church, the gym, and trying harder in school. Thank you for being
Alright.
real, Nick. God bless.
hey, thank you. I appreciate you saying that. Everybody says that, you know? It's like everybody thinks I'm a piece of shit, and they just say nothing but nasty things. I'm a nice guy, you fucking asshole. I'm actually a nice guy. You know, I'm actually a nice guy, you stupid bitch. But I'm like this nice guy. I'm right about everything. And all everybody does is talk shit. Oh, this guy's a Nazi. This guy's evil. This guy's a Fed. And then they watch the show and they're like, damn, he's actually awesome. So I appreciate that. Thank you. I'm misunderstood, you know? I'm misunderstood. I'm a misunderstood guy. That's part of it. Jesus was misunderstood too, so can't take it personally. I think that's just part of the program. If you're like a righteous person, everyone hates you for some reason. It shouldn't be that way, but it is. Not that I'm super self-righteous, but I am in that. I feel like I'm doing the right thing, and everyone hates me for it. So I can relate to that a little bit, I guess. But I appreciate
They're
it.
relatable.
Ethan Dara sent $15. As a fellow white Mexican, I know you have brown cousins. You can't hide anymore.
I do actually. Well, they're not brown. They're not super brown. They're a little brown, I guess. It's really more like second and third cousins are the brown ones. But yeah, they're out there. Yeah, they're out there. The Familia. Don't mess with the Familia. Don't mess with La Familia, bitch. don't mess with the Spicnic. I used to tell
The
people,
Spicnic.
my extended family on my dad's side, they have a family get-together. They call it the Spicnic because it's a big picnic in the forest preserve. They rent out a space and they have like a picnic. We call it the Spicnic because it's all Mexicans. So it is what
That's
it is.
pretty
you know?
funny. That's pretty
My
funny.
dad's father's Mexican, so don't mess with the Familia,
He sent
bitch.
$10. If you saw that Kyrie Irving, the ball player, WS streaming live and had a bunch of your videos bookmarked on his exit, which I thought was pretty cool.
I saw that. Yeah, hey, I was a big supporter. Someone get this to Kyrie. When Kyrie Irving was going through his persecution for sharing that Amazon video, I was a big supporter. I was a vocal defender of Kyrie. So I hope he knows that. I'm totally behind him 100%. I think he's a patriot. He's very brave for doing that. So, yeah, no, that was pretty cool. I'm not a basketball guy. I know
Who's
nothing
Kyrie
about
Irving?
basketball or
I don't know
sports,
who that
but
is.
I saw that he was taking a lot of heat for that back a couple of years ago, I think it was. And I was very supportive. So, hey, we got your back. Got your back, my nigga. I know he wouldn't appreciate me saying that, but I don't care because it's one struggle. Whites, blacks against the Jews. So, he might not like me saying he's my nigga, but we're all niggas, okay? I'm a nigga, you're a nigga, we're America's niggas, we're the world's niggas, we're the niggas of the world, you know? Israel wants to kill us all, we're all niggas. Israel trying to keep us all down, am I right? That's right, that's right. Israel's trying to keep us all down, we're all niggas. We're all niggas here, it's okay. White, black, Cuban or Asian. White, black, red, brown, or yellow, we are all niggas to them. We are all goyim. So, I don't care if you're a black nigga, white nigga, it is one struggle. If you're with God, if you're with America, I'm with you, the American people.
It's so funny.
Legal immigrant sent $25. Doing this because of my 21 yo son there. Yes, I'm an immigrant mom. Legal, who gave this country a captain in Air Force and a newly minted second LT. You're welcome. Keep up the great work waking people up to the government corruption. You're a brilliant analyst. Christ is king.
No, how about you're welcome? How about you're welcome that you got to live in the best country in the world? What is this? I love immigrants coming here and saying, we should be appreciative of you. If your son is in the Air Force, I mean, okay, thank you for your service. He didn't fight in World War II. He didn't fight in the Revolution. I mean, what war are we fighting in? Fighting the Houthis? You know, I'm getting a little sick of that, honestly. I mean, what are we really defending other than Israel right now? Thank
True.
you. How about you're welcome for getting to live here from wherever you obviously want to live here and not where you came from. How about a little gratitude? You're welcome that I gave you a soldier for Israel. Okay, That's always how they are, though, isn't it? There's no humility, no gratitude. My ancestors, who came through Ellis Island in the 19th century, they were grateful to be here. They kissed the ground when they got off the boat. They loved America. They were patriotic. They weren't saying, "You're welcome." They were saying, "Thank you. This is a great country." Nice
Valentine
attitude,
sent
though.
$10. Golfing Groip sent $15. How was golfing?
I golfed on Sunday with my dad for Father's Day, and it was fun. But I also hate being outside, and I hate the sun, and I hate physical activity. So I had fun for the sake of my father. I got to spend some time with him. I don't, if I'm being honest, love golfing. It was 85 degrees. I got sunburned. That's too hot for me. I hate the daytime. It's just not really my thing. In the summer, I'm in hibernation because I hate the sun. It's too bright out. It's too hot out. It's too much. I can't do it. So in the summer, I hibernate. I try to stay indoors at all times and avoid contact with the sun and try to be awake during the night. But it was okay. It was fine. You do it once a year, it's okay.
Subhan Tarek sent $10. Great job. First time contributing. Hope you read the Quran yourself. You're a brilliant guy. Have been following for a while. Free Palestine.
Sorry, buddy. I'm Catholic. Nice try, though. We don't want your Quran. Sorry.
He sent $10. Italians are definitely not good at war. They are the only ones who lost a war to little Africans and were responsible for the failed invasion of Greece in World War II.
And the Quran is full of contradictions.
Anyways, don't forget to read yesterday's super chats.
Ugh, Reddit. Rome took over the whole world. You forget about that, dumbass? Italians in World War II. We fucking made the modern world, idiot. There'd be no Europe without us. It's called Roman Empire. Ever heard of it? Dumbass. Redditor.
Sent $50. Huge show. Laying it all out.
Thank you, dude. Some of these super chats just like, shut
the
up.
only we got boiled up black nigga sent $10. Hey Nick, loyal lord over here. I've been spending all day defending you on Twitter, but sometimes people call you a fat lazy gay wetback that gorges himself on fast food and doesn't exercise. How do I respond to this?
Well, there's some half-truth there, some partial truth. I would say, look, you can call me a lot of names. You can never call me wrong, okay? Hey, am I lazy? Do I eat a lot of fast food? Yeah. So fucking what? What are you, my girlfriend? You eat too much pizza. Okay, well, fuck off and kill yourself. Okay, I'm a fucking grown-ass man. I like to eat, okay? So what difference does it make? I mean, they'll call you a lot of things. They'll call you greasy and fat and say you eat like shit and, you need a girlfriend and you're not even really white. Okay, well, what the fuck ever. I'm right about everything. So take the information. The information is yours. When there's a perfect Aryan specimen that wants to take the lead, hey, I'll be the first one to sign up in his army. Okay? Call him Hitler and give him a mustache, and I'll be right there behind him. But so far, it's me. I'm the one holding down the fort. We all dream of a blonde-haired, blue-eyed, Aryan, founding stock, 6 foot, Chad, high PSL score who gets bitches and eats clean, eats protein and whole foods and local fucking honey and works out and isn't weird and isn't a freak. Okay, yeah. I can't wait for that guy to get red-pilled and be entertaining and charismatic and funny and everything.
I got half of that.
But that guy isn't
Just not the
showing up
entertaining
for
part.
us, okay? Your real dad isn't here. I'm the guy that stepped up.
Your
I'm
real
the
dad
guy
isn't
that
here.
stepped
Oof.
up, okay?
Oof.
I'm the Mexican that stepped up for you ungrateful pieces of shit. You're welcome. Where's your real dad? He's in the fucking commune in Portland. Your real dad, your real Chad, Aryan, Nazi leader, he's in the Capitol Hill Autonomous Zone smoking a joint, okay? He's apologizing for being white to a bunch of nigs, okay? He's out there with braided hair, sacrificing a rabbit in the woods, LARPing as a pagan, and thinking Stephen Miller's our closest fucking ally, okay? That's a little survey of your white people. I'm the guy that stepped up for you. I did this ridiculous show for you. You're welcome. So
That was amazing.
That
was
You
amazing.
played the hands you're
That's so
dealt.
true.
You played the cards that you're dealt. You got the spiteful mutant, okay? You pulled the wrong card. You pulled the Joker, and I'm unleashing my radioactive ooze. Okay, my X-Men radioactive. I'm like a human dirty bomb. I was created in a laboratory. I was made for this. I'm like iRobot. I was created to kill the AI. You know, and he puts his hand in the thing. I'm spreading my radioactive goop and melting everything in the laboratory. I was made for this martyrdom, for the sacrifice.
Bro, how do you not die?
You're welcome, okay? And you know, Chad, Stacy and Chad, hey, feel free. When I get killed by Mossad, they can walk over my corpse and be Hitler too, okay? Fine. No thanks to me, I guess, right? That's how it is. That's life. That's life. I'll happily do it.
Amazon Bro, I percent $20. Reminder, if Trump wasn't effective, they wouldn't be starting World War III to divert his policies.
That's idiotic. One has nothing to do with the other. You think that Israel did this to stop what? Him from bringing in H-1Bs and H-1As and all the...
That's
I mean,
retarded.
are you fucking kidding me? Seriously. Grow up. They had to start World War III to prevent what? The non-existent mass deportations? To prevent what? The big nothing burger? The increase in the deficit?
big
I mean,
nothing
what are you
burger.
talking about?
That's about
Right.
right.
Spent $1,000. Great coverage. Why get my news anywhere else? Steamed chicken and cauliflower money.
Whoa! Thank you for the huge super chat. Holy smokes!
$1,000.
$1,000? Thank you very much, man, for the
Damn.
huge super chat. 07's in the chat for steamed chicken and cauliflower. Yeah, I don't know if we're doing that. Listen, after my medical scare on Monday, I'm really just focused on my recovery, you know. Look, I was doing this diet for a couple of weeks. It metastasized into this medical crisis on Monday where I was feeling a little tired. Now I'm really focused on my recovery before I do anything crazy. Calorie deficit, forget it. I had like a milkshake and a cheeseburger yesterday, had a pizza today, so really just focused on the recovery. Focusing on a lot of, you know, glucose, fats, key essential fats and nutrients, vitamins, carbs, you know, the good stuff. So we're putting the diet on hold while I'm under kind of like while I'm monitoring my condition here, monitoring the situation. So not a whole lot of steamed chicken and cauliflower, but it will go toward the recovery effort, rebuilding
Charlie Kirk's
my
Rabbi sent
temple.
$10. I hope there's a
Rebuilding my body is the third temple.
Charlie Kirk's Rabbi watched the Tucker Show with Cruz and was instantly reminded how spoiled we are to have Nick. Every 10 minutes and bombarded with a cock-sucking fucking ad read for tax-free crypto retirement
Yeah.
accounts or ghetto fuck cellular plans. Nick is truly the last man online bereft of the bullshit. My
It's
dope,
true.
my king.
No bullshit. No ads. No nonsense. No. Look, we say nigger here, sir. We say the N-word. We talk about the Jews here, sir. I mean, look. Everybody says, "Oh, I watch Tucker. I watch this or that." It's like, okay, but they're all still filled with the bullshit. That's your Taco Bell synthetic meat hose. This is a real deal. This is some serious local honey. This is some raw local honey, locally sourced milk and other products. This is the real deal. This is good for you. You know, this other stuff that you watch, it's mid-reel advertisements. It's ad reads, you know. Gold, Roth IRA, life insurance, ZipRecruiter, you know, fucking this, that, and the other. There was an ad for Chevron on the Michael Knowles show the other day. Chevron fucking oil. Really? This show is off the cuff, no script, no sponsors, no advertisers, no censorship, and we mean that. Other people say no censorship, and then they say the N-word. Other people say, we're not politically correct, but I support the state of Israel. You know, we don't play games here, okay? We don't fuck around. We don't fuck around here on America First.
John
This
sent
is a
$10.
real
Do
deal.
you think you have no real haters? Just people who haven't become regular viewers. Keep shining.
Well, I definitely have haters. I don't know if you're aware of that, but I definitely have haters. But I appreciate the sentiment. It's true.
Human dunk.
You see, when you're someone like me, you just polarize. Just by virtue of existing, it creates cult-like fanatical support, but also cult-like fanatical hatred. Sometimes I wish I could just be a happy-go-lucky guy that no one really thought too much about, you know? I look at some people, I really don't understand it. I look at like some men, pause. I'm looking at men. Pause. I look at some guys and they're really just like happy-go-lucky. They're just like unbothered. Frustrating things happen and they're like, oh, well, whatever. And there's just no like drive. There's no like, me, I feel like I have a black hole in the center. Pause. That's just like, I just feel like restless all the time and just nervous and restless and like I can never sit still. And other people are just kind of like, they just sit there. They just sit there thinking about nothing. You could see it in their eyes. They just sit there like this. And they're just like content, totally satisfied. They have their beer, get a little blowjob, and then they're just like, okay, I'm good. You know, bad stuff happens. They're like, oh man, well, whatever. You know, I've always envied that. It's some people could just be. They could just kind of exist, and it's just you know, they're just regular people, but that's a personality type. So no, I definitely have haters.
Coastside 689 sent $200. There's a clip of you as AI King Baldwin saying if this makes you feel black-pilled, powerless. Good. You are powerless. You are hopeless without God. It's a gem in helping me focus through this war. Thank you.
I haven't seen that one. Somebody has to send it to me. But thank you for the big super chat. I appreciate it. I like that. It's true. It's true. People need to hear that. You can't have this like dependency on wish casting. Oh, well, if I you know, I'm going to feel horrible unless somebody reassures me everything's going to be okay. It's like, no, everything's not going to be okay. We're all going to die. We're all mortal, and horrible things are going to happen in our lifetimes. Get used to it. Get with the program. If you don't have an unshakable foundation and a belief in God and a fear of God and a fear of hell, then you're not going to make it. If it rests on anything other than that, you're going to be shaken out, and you'll be spit out. For all these people that say, I just want to feel good. I want a reassurance. I want to be in a good mood. I want to feel optimistic about my future. Why should you? You know, why would that be guaranteed to you?
Aizen Sosuke sent $10. Do you think buying Palantir stock could be a good idea? If I make money, I'll give you a cut.
I'm not going to give you financial
Lebanese English
advice.
grower percent.
It would have been, hey, fuckface. It would have been a good idea to buy Palantir a year ago. Genius. Should I buy Apple stock? You think it's a good idea to buy Amazon now? Like, Palantir went up like 200%. Should I buy now? Is now a good time to buy? Like, dude, I hate normies, dude. How do you actually, hey, do you think it's a good idea to buy Palantir now? Yeah, genius. Yeah, the stock that went up in the past 200%. Yeah, now is a good time to go all in. You and everybody else. What is wrong with you?
One question. If Trump, as an outsider, has not been able to resist and stop the Jewish influence in our government, how much chance do we have for any future government elected officials to do
Oh
so?
my gosh.
Seems futile. AF for life.
Really dumb question. Trump was never trying to do it. He was part of Jewish influence the entire time. So it's just total false, you know, oh, if Trump could do it, then is that even possible? He's not even trying. You know, let's try and be a little more sophisticated, okay? No more
Smalley Big
dumb
sent $10.
questions.
By the way, being 100% right about Iran seems to have unlocked something very good and mature inside of you. PPL have noticed. Enjoy it.
What do you mean by that? What do you mean it's unlocked something good and mature inside of me? What do you mean? I don't know what you mean by that. What is that? What is that supposed to mean? Have I been really mature? I feel like I've been unhinged. I feel like I've been off the goop. I'm like, every night I'm like, fuck you and your family. You're the founders would piss on you. That's literally all week. I've just been crashing out on everybody. I said to Matt Walsh multiple times, fuck you and fuck your family. Last night I said these people like Scott Greer, the founding fathers would piss on you. They would want you to kill yourself today. What's mature about that? I feel like, if anything, I'm like emboldened. I'm exuberant. So I don't know. No one else has told me that. You're the first one to say something mature has been unlocked in me. But hey, I want to know what you mean by that. I'm curious. Oh man, that's funny.
Hats Flying sent $10. Have you seen the clip of Cookie King calling Dean Withers and anyone who is seriously political jesters personally? I wouldn't take that from the King Jester himself.
What? Is that real? Did he say that? Somebody send me the clip. I'm not going to crash out unless I see the clip. But if that's real, I swear, I'm going to fucking punch Cookie in the fucking face.
Dean was a jester, Nick Fuentes is a jester. Not
Wow.
a dick, but they're both jesters for being super political.
They're both really short, like 5.
And what are you, super fucking fat? What are you, super fat? That makes you better? Fuck you. Cookie King? Hey, Cookie King. Fuck you. I hate Cookie King. Cookie King is my fucking op. Next time you see Cookie King, say Nick Fuentes sends his regards. Fat piece of shit. Low PSL. Gets no bitches. Fuck you. Super political? What should we all be? Super fat and ugly and have a fucking chopped haircut? And past our prime? Hey, fuck you, Cookie. I was a fan. Not anymore. Nick out unless I...
Both jesters for being super political.
They're both really short, like 5.
And what are you... Punched? Is that real? Did he say that?
All right.
Somebody send me the clip. I'm not going to crash
Just,
out unless I see the clip. But if that's real, I swear, I'm going to fucking punch Cookie in the fucking face.
Dean was a jester, Nick Fuentes is a jester. Not
Wow.
a dick, but they're both jesters for being super political.
They're both really short, like 5.
And what are you, super fucking fat? What are you, super fat? That makes you better? Fuck you. Cookie King? Hey, Cookie King. Fuck you. I hate Cookie King. Cookie King is my fucking op. Next time you see Cookie King, say Nick Fuentes sends his regards. Fat piece of shit. Low PSL, gets no bitches. Fuck you. Super political, what should we all be? Super fat and ugly and have a fucking chopped haircut and past our prime? Hey, fuck you, Cookie. I was a fan. Not anymore. It's over. The Nick Fuentes Cookie King collaboration, it's off. Now, Dylan is another story. Dylan, I have no problem with, but Cookie King, you just made a very powerful
This is so
enemy.
dumb.
Groiper War on Cookie King.
This is so
Piece of
dumb.
shit. How dare you? With your fat, disgusting little body. How dare you? We're jesters. What, with your chopped haircut, with your chopped fat little body? How dare you? Groiper War on Cookie King. Cookie King, more like Cookie Bitch. More like Cookie
$10.
Beta.
I'm only
Cookie
being one little
Chopped.
Irish. Imperium AI sent 200.
Cookie Beta.
Just over 3 terabytes of input
fucking
per
hell.
install. Maybe Trump wants the false flag
Well,
and is going to
Fuentes.
Iran to get the documents. So when Israel
You
finally does
idiot.
the false flag, Trump
Oh
can
my
finally
God.
You guys are retards. You're just coping so hard. You just desperately want there to be a win.
And if Iran exposes them, they are toast.
You retards.
Yeah, I profoundly disagree. I appreciate the big super chat. I mean, what's more likely that there's Hunter's laptop is in the hard drives? Iran took Hunter's laptop. That's why we're going to war. We're bombing Iran because in Fordo is Hunter's laptop. Where's Hunter? Like, what's more likely? We're bombing their nukes because that's what has been talked about for 30 fucking years. That's been the battle in the Middle East for even longer than that. That's what they've been talking about, regime change and denuclearization and all the rest of it. Is it more likely that it's that 45-year regime change, 30-year denuclearization in the making? Or is it that they got Hunter's laptop last week and we gotta blow it up? Let's be realistic, okay? Let's be high IQ anti-Semites. Let's not fall for slop. Let's not be idiots and say that we're going to war for Hunter's laptop. I mean, seriously. The information and the terabytes that they stole. That's why I don't think so, dude. I really doubt that. I seriously doubt that. But I appreciate the
ELZ
super
sent $10.
chat.
The Kerber sent $10. The male principle is based on not being contingent. Therefore, non-contingency must exist. Jacob Eckenrich sent $10. What's your thoughts on JB Pritzker? Moldy
That's
sent
a bad
$15.
argument.
Center your camera, my audio.
And the male principle isn't
Crunch
based
sent
on
$10.
being
My alliance
non-contingent.
Romulus usually plows through Oceania.
It's actually
Sunday.
the
Don't
opposite.
care. Okay, wow.
To be the active principle, you need to be active towards the
200
subject.
look,
Therefore, you are
I'm
contingent.
glad I get the super chats.
Being an
People are saying,
object,
"You complain
acting
that
on a
you have to
subject
read messages
is
for
a
money."
contingency.
But it's like I'm also
So the
trying
male
to do an
principle is
entertaining
contingent.
show, and then it's just like mindless nonsense, one after the other, just pure distilled.
One is the
morbid
actor and one is the
NPC
receiver.
idiocy
To be an
for
actor, you
hour.
need a
This past
receiver.
weekend, my 70-year/O grandpa
So
got
it's
assaulted by a
contingent on there
70-year/O
being
black
a-
neighbor. My grandpa told him to turn down his rap music at 11 p.m. This guy wasn't just playing it on a radio. He was playing it on a full-size truck with 3 massive TVs on the back that you see driving around playing ads. They have no respect for elders.
Yeah, you can't be doing that. You can't be doing that. They will do that to you. Well, I mean, what are you thinking at this point? They're feral. You know, let's just be honest. Not all black people, but a lot of black people, if you confront them, they will kill you. You know, like Austin Metcalf. Austin Metcalf came up to some black kid and said, "Hey, you're in the wrong section." Stabbed in the chest and died. Stabbed in the throat and died. What do you call that? That's like a feral wild animal. And that's not me saying blacks are animals. That's saying that some of them are predatory. They act like animals. You cannot fuck with them. Hey, could you turn down the music? Act. You know, hey, could you turn down that music? And then they kill you, especially if you're 100 years old. You can't be doing that. Call the cops on them. That's my favorite game. Just call the cops. That's what the cops are there for. And they'll tell you that. Here in dipshit Illinois, the cops can do nothing for you. You call them, and you know, hey, yeah, and you'll call them a bunch of times. Someone's outside. If some black person's blasting their music in front of your house, you call the cops. They don't come, call them again. Call them again. That's what they're there for. You know, these fuckface politicians want to create this situation. You let the cops take care of it, you know? But yeah, that's why you can't live near them. You can't. Who wants to live like this, you know? And there's a lot of people that say, "Oh man, you know, that's really racist." I'm sure a lot of black people feel the same way. I'm sure there's a lot of black people, they want to just live. They want to just go to work and do their thing. They don't want to live around these super predators. It's fucked up. And it is them. You know, maybe once now and again there's a white psychopath that'll do that, but you know, you live around black people, you're going to get that element, and nobody wants anything to do with that.
Hey, Nick, do you ever think about what your life would have looked like if you never got political? Like who you'd be today if you never opened that first history book or hit Will Live for the first time? God bless you, praying for you, and thank you for all you do.
I
be-
do, yeah, I do.
he'd
I
be-
used to think about it a lot
be
more.
nerding about, like,
when
tanks.
January 6th happened, I thought about it a lot because my life went to shit for a couple of years and it was horrible and miserable. So during that period, I thought a lot about, like, oh, I wonder what could have been, you know? And isn't that so typical, you know? When things are going good, you don't even think twice. When things are going badly, you think, oh, what could have been, right? But, I mean, I guess what I would have valued is just the anonymity. You know, if I wasn't political, I could just be an unassuming guy. And everybody and anybody could give me a chance. And, you know, I could be low-key and I wouldn't be bothered. People wouldn't be trying to fuck with me all the time. You know, because the worst part about being me and being political is that there's such this enormous incentive to fuck me over all the time. So it's like anybody that I've ever been friends with, anybody that I've ever known, the incentive is always like, oh, if Nick makes me mad, if I don't like Nick anymore, I always have this huge incentive to talk shit or
Right,
blow up
yeah,
a
yeah, yeah.
spot or, you know, go and work for the enemy, go and work for the left, and that has happened, you know, with all my closest friends over the years. You know, people from high school talk shit about me, people who used to be Groyper generals talk shit about me. And that's the worst part because it's like you could never just be a guy. Everybody likes to go and have a good time and party and whatever, but me, if I let my guard down for even a second with anybody, it's gonna turn into a fucking thing. You know
Right,
what I mean?
because he's a
I used to
prize.
be
That's-
friends
there's
with
like a
people.
bounty
I
on his
watched
head.
the show Euphoria with the buddy of mine as a joke, you know. And look, I watched, I enjoyed it. It was good TV. At one time, that was a major scandal that I watched a fucking TV show, you know. I watched that HBO show Euphoria. Everyone was talking about it. I said, yeah, whatever. You put stuff on TV. And then this Jagoff goes on a big stream and says, did you know he watched Euphoria? Oh my gosh, how embarrassing. He watched a fucking TV show? And it's like, you fucking faggot. It's like, but this is how it is. It's like you become friends with somebody and something as innocuous as like you turn on a fucking stupid TV show and someone's going to turn it around and try and throw that against you, against the wall to see what sticks. Use it for brownie points with cocksuckers that hate you. And it's like, that's the part that really sucks. It's like, you can't.
Oh, whoops.
Yeah, I profoundly meal. You know when you're so hungry and it's like you can molest people at parties?
If you never got political, like who you'd be today.
Is that there's such this enormous to be recognizable. If I go out in public, I don't know if somebody's gonna run up and try and blow my fucking head off. You know, somebody came to my house with a gun and tried to kill me. I can't just go out places. I mean, I have to be looking over my shoulder. I go out to a restaurant or wherever. I gotta be watching the exits, worried someone gives me a dirty look. Is this person gonna come up and fucking stab me? So that's the worst part. I don't even, you know, the rest of it is whatever, but it's like, being able to just go out in public and just kind of, and you always on some level have to have situational awareness, but the level of scrutiny, that's the part that sucks. You know, you gotta be super dialed in, you know, any moment of weakness, any moment of, you know, whatever, candor, whatever, it's always gonna come back to bite you in the ass. Someone will be taking it and rubbing it in your face and, broadcasting it to the world, and you let your guard down, someone's gonna try and shoot you with a gun. You know, it's like, so that's the part that sucks. And you wish that it was lower stakes, you know, hosting a talk show. It's not like there are people that go to war that don't have that. You know, there are people that are responsible for the deaths of thousands of people that don't have the same predicament, you know, murderers and rapists and something. It's like I do a talk show, and that's how it is when you are in a. And by the way, it's not just being in politics; it's being in dissident politics. If you're in normal politics, you get away with fucking anything. You're in normal politics, you get away with anything. You could be a sleaze, you can molest people, boys, girls. You can molest people at sleepovers. You can molest people at parties. You can molest anybody. If you're everyone in politics,
Unlimited
is a
molesting.
fucking molester. I've heard stories about everyone in politics molesting in every scenario, any type of person, any kind of way. People get drunk. People are functional alcoholics. They're molesting this one, that one. They're cheating on their spouses. People do fucking anything you can think of. And no
away
one
with
gives
it.
a shit. But because I'm me, because I'm the guy that's challenging the Matrix, I get away with nothing, you know? So, and not like I want to go and molest everybody, but you know what I mean. It's like the shit that I get for every little fucking thing, everything I do, everything I say, everyone I've ever known or talked to trying to fuck with me later in the future. It's like, anyway, not to throw a pity. Then even you complain about it, people say, oh, he wants people to feel sorry for him. I'm just saying that's the worst part of the job. That's why I say I'm suited for it, because I'm already a pretty antisocial person, so it's not a ton of skin off my nose. If I were any other kind of person, if I was somebody that loved to party or loved to drink or socialize or womanize or whatever, it'd be a big problem, but I'm pretty low-key, so. But anyway, so that's the only part that I sometimes think, like, man, wouldn't it be nice to just not be fucking bothered all the time by everybody? Not have always people scheming against you, scheming and plotting and trying to come for your neck and everything, like. But then again, if you, at the same time I say that, but if people aren't coming for your neck, it also means you're, in some ways, you're sort of no consequence. In a way, it's like, if people are so engaged in trying to knock you off the ladder, it means you're on the way to the top. You know what I'm saying? So, someone like myself, at the same time that I think I have weakness like that, I'm like, man, I wish I could be a normal guy. I also know it would never be enough for me. It would never be enough to just be a regular guy out there, because, you know, no one gives a shit, but no one gives a shit, you know? So it's all part of the game. It's all part of the rules of the game. You know, sometimes, can I just give you a real human being moment? One time I was walking down the street in the rain, and it was like before Halloween, and I was walking by all these old historic houses on LaGrange Road, near downtown LaGrange. If you've ever been there, you know what I'm talking about. They have all these old houses, and all the Halloween decorations were up, and it started to rain, and there was this like big, like ornate house, and a pizza delivery guy pulls up and brings the pizza, and the guy takes it at the door, and you know, it's lit from inside. It's all warm lighting on the inside. And I was thinking, what is better than a pizza delivery? What could be better than this? There's truly nothing better. I could never countenance a life without pizza. Without, like, Friday night, the kiddos are home, you know, if you have a family, I guess. And, oh boy, let's order a pizza. It's raining outside, it's cold and windy outside, but the pizza's hot. You know, you get a hot pizza delivered to your door. What could be better than this? What could be better than that? You get a 2-liter bottle of RC, big hot pizza, movie on the TV. What could be better than this? It's the best thing ever. I'm about simple pleasures like this. So yeah, that's really what I'm all about. I saw that and I was like, I almost started to cry. I was like, this is just the best thing ever. I was like happy that I got to witness it. I was happy that I got to see that in the wild, you know? Yeah, maybe it's because of memories or something. Maybe it's a childhood thing, but it's like, really, when it's, maybe I'm just a glutton, but it's hard to imagine anything better than like you're starving and it's Friday night and you get a big hot box with a hot pie ready to go. You get a big warm box with a hot pie and you flip it open. Oh, it's cheesy, it's bread. Maybe you get some mozzarella sticks, ice cold, Coke from the fridge. What could be better than this?
You didn't say meat, because Friday.
It doesn't get any better than this. It will never get any better than this. That's good. That's good medicine. That's a winner. Glad that I get to be a part of it. Unironically, that's the best part of the job. If someone's eating a hot and ready hot pie and a can of Coke and you're watching the show, oh man, I'm glad I get to be a part of it. What's better than this? I mean, maybe that's just me. There's like nothing better than the feeling of like, oh boy, like a hot meal. You know when you're so hungry and it's like, you really get to go in? You know what I'm talking about? When you really get to indulge, that's the best ever, man. Like you go to an Italian restaurant, they give you a little basket of bread, and it's good bread. You're dipping into the olive oil and cheese. Get fried calamari, then you get pasta, then you get dessert and coffee. We live for this. We live for this. This is why I cannot relate to people that go to the gym. I live to eat. They eat to live. You got these jagoffs in Whole Foods. They're like, we need to put good fuel in our bodies. Food is more like fuel. It's like, no. Food is why we live. We live to eat. We live to experience big feasts and banquets with our families and our friends. That's what we live for. So you see these faggots, they're like, I'll have the grilled chicken and rice. I'll have a Chipotle bowl. It's like, no, bring on the appetizers. Bring on the bread and the gluten and the carbs, the pizza, bring it all on. Dessert, it's going to be a glucose spike tonight. It's going to be a blood sugar spike
Bro, how are they
tonight.
dodging these
That's
attacks?
what I'm all
What the
about.
fuck?
What could be, if you don't have that in
Okay,
your
but
life,
67.
you might as well be dead.
And
I'm
he
not like
attacks
these
my
Northern
fucking
Europeans.
guy
They
with
want to
20
eat
HP.
salmon. They want to eat wild-caught salmon and fucking spinach. Fuck you. You know that? Fuck off. I want to eat a wild-caught salmon and rice. Who wants that? And what, a side of steamed coral and fucking office supplies and sideburns? I want a cookie skillet, bitch. Hey, nigger, I want a cookie skillet with ice cream on top. I want a cookie skillet. I want an Oreo cookie skillet with ice cream on top and a giant cup of coffee. That's what I want. I want a big fudge brownie with a big scoop of ice cream. I want a sticky date cake. I want a big carrot cake with ice cream on the side. And that's what I want, and that's what I'm about.
Rape Faith Merrill sent $10. You said Cruz was a Gentile.
Okay, no more rape anybody, okay?
25. Miss Stern sent $100. Found you a few months ago and have been catching up on your career. It's heartbreaking what was done to you. Yet here you are today, talking about Jesus Christ and awakening the masses. Thank you.
Hey, thank you very much, man. Thank you for the big super chat. Yeah, it's been a tough journey. And listen, I don't say those things so that people feel bad for me or anything, but just to speak to the reality of the situation, you know. It's just like shocking that there's such a human cost involved in telling the truth. You would never think that, you know, because a lot of people look at a guy like me and they say, oh, that guy's just some punk, like he's just this rabble rouser, shock jock. He's just a little troll. But it's like, no, I'm actually a very sincere person. I do have good intentions. I'm a serious person, and I like to have fun and make jokes and stuff. And for telling the truth about this issue, I've been put through things that people literally wouldn't believe. And so I don't say all that to say, oh, woe is me, you know, everyone feels sorry for me. It is what it is. But it's just to say it's unbelievable that we live in America. This is the United States. We're supposed to have freedom. We're supposed to have the Constitution and the First Amendment, and everybody believes that. But if you tell the truth about politics, they will nuke you from orbit, and it turns into like a survival situation. It's like, do you want to give up your entire life to just like tell the truth about politics? The reason I point that out is because that's like, we think of North Korea when we think about something like that. Like, in order to do what I do, I can't really have normal friendships. I can't have normal relationships. I can't live a normal life. I can't make money. I can't open a checking account. I can't have a credit card processor. I get all kinds of legal problems. I get people attacking me and lying about me all the time. My reputation was destroyed. In a concerted effort, people pay other people to try and fuck with me. You would think in America, I'm going to tell the truth about politics. I'm going to do a talk show. And it should be as simple as you get a camera, you get a fucking Twitter account, and you just do it. And that's freedom. That's America. But it's like, no. You get a webcam and you get a computer and you start saying the wrong things, and very powerful people try to take your life from you. And then you have to make a decision. Do I want to give up my life to do a stupid talk show, or do I want to have a normal life? And that's why so few people tell the truth, because the vast majority of people, even the people that care about this stuff, they're so attached to a certain roadmap for their life. I want to find a wife and settle down and buy a house and, you know, go to dinner parties and shit like that. And unless you're willing to give even that up and be a hermit, I'm like a hermit, you know, you're going to get pushed out. My journey, I never would have thought. I reflect a little bit because now I'm getting a little older. You know, I'm 26 and I'm not a kid anymore.
26,
That's what I mean by that. When you're a kid, you just do a bunch of stuff, and then you get older and you're like, what was I thinking? You know, not even with regret, but just you have your bearings a little bit. I think back on the past 8 years, and what is striking is how one thing leads to another. I never set out to become what I'm accused of being, which is like the Nazi of America. I never set out to be this infamous figure or whatever. I
That's
mean, I
awesome,
always
though.
wanted to have notoriety, I guess, but so do a lot of people. People do a get ready with me. They want notoriety. I want to talk about fucking politics. So what? What struck me is how one thing leads to another. It's like I start this show. I mention Israel a little bit. People start messing with me. I punch back. They really fuck with my life. You know, I start getting called all these names in the media. They're trying to make an example out of me. I fight back twice as hard. I start a YouTube channel, you know, like, and it's just one thing leads to another, and you go to the January 6th because you're fighting the stolen election, then you get your bank account frozen, and it's just one thing into the next, and you look back on 8 years, and it's like, did I have a choice, or was I just sort of thrust into this? I had an interest and an appetite for politics. I got punished for it. I never submitted. I never relented. I kept fighting back, and they kept upping the ante, and I kept matching them. And then finally met a point in my life where it's like, okay, now it seems like I can breathe a little bit. I kind of got my head above water. I don't even want to say that because I don't want to jinx it, but it's just remarkable how the journey started with, like, you know, I'm an 18-year-old kid in college thinking, oh, I'm going to do a little talk show. I'm going to do a little talk show to hone my craft. I want to learn how to do public speaking. I want to practice my broadcasting abilities. I'll start a little show. I never took it seriously. I wanted to shut it down. I wanted to quit every day the first few months that I did it. I was looking for an off-ramp. I never thought I'd be a YouTuber, you know, live streamer. So it's just funny how that goes. And, you know, but I was always just pursuing the truth. I was always just pushing back on these fuck-faced tattletales and hall monitors and fucking censor, cancel culture people.
Tattletale hall
Jews.
monitors. That's what they are. These tattletale hall
They wanted
monitors.
me to
That's exactly it.
apologize, and, oh, you can't say that. You got
Tattletale hall monitors. That's glorious. That's exactly
you
what
can
it
go
is.
far, but you can't say that. You can't say this. And I remember, man, it's so funny. The opportunities I had where people would like get in my face and be like, you know, you could really make a lot of money. You could have a great career. You have so much potential, but you got to stop talking about Israel. You got to stop talking about the Jews. And I was like, yeah, get the fuck away from me. It's crazy when you put that investment in it because life is short
fucking
and
awesome.
you do something for a decade and you look back and it's like, wow, that was a decade of my life was like this saga, you know? I have no regrets, by the way. I just think about it. It's just funny how life is like that. In many ways, I'm glad about it. I mean, some of my wildest dreams came true. I met Ye, I met Donald Trump. Those are my biggest heroes of all time. I mean, I literally dream of stuff like that, you know? And I met Trump, I met Ye, Alex Jones, Sam Hyde, you know, and I get to do a
Yeah.
show and be on Twitter and all that kind, not to be like sappy or whatever. Just to say I'm not in any way saying, oh, I regret all the struggle. It's just sort of funny when you look back because it seems so stupid. It's like you do a stupid ass talk show and then it turns into a fucking like flashpoint for this meta political battle. You know what I mean? Like it's like Luke Skywalker. It's literally like Luke Skywalker. Like you're a fucking moisture farmer. you're like a moisture farmer that's shooting womp rats with your buddy. And you're like, man, I wanna get off this planet. I wanna fly a fucking spaceship. And then you find yourself with like this old man and like this smuggler on a fucking cargo ship, and then you're like in the middle of this civilizational battle on the Death Star. That's what it felt like. It's like, here I am, I'm like this kid from LaGrange Park, I'm at school, I'm doing this stupid show, and then I'm thrust into the center of like this 1,000-year conflict between Christians and Jews and like the Roman
Yes.
Empire and Israel, and it's like Netanyahu's condemning me on TV. Hey man, I'm just like a moisture farmer. Okay, I didn't mean to blow up the Death Star. I just, one thing led to another. One thing led to another. They took my droids. You know, I wound up in this cantina, and now I'm on this spaceship, and it's like I just, But that's the hero's journey, right? It's the Odyssey.
Oh, exactly 140.
Of the Ayatollah.
Wow.
A 66-year-old bomber ran and pacify its regime as it
Wow.
deep state black hat operatives to steal the files. Also, Bibi is secretly running undercover ops against the libtard UNNWO agenda. Grab your popcorn, boy.
Dude, that guy was in my DMs after the show, and he was like complaining. You know, a couple days ago, that guy was like, some super chatter said, the real reason Israel's bombing Iran is because of all that data they stole. And that's why we're going to attack, because the Epstein files are in the data leak. And I made fun of him
Bro,
because
there's-
that's obviously retarded. And then he gets all pissed off and sends me a DM on Twitter. He said, you'll never be in the 0.01 because your ego and arrogance. Shit. You could be president one day, but your mentality will lead you to be 40 years old.
Anyone who attacks you on the
sitting in
basis
your
of
dump
arrogance
a
is
house
just
watching
coping.
reruns of your episodes to relive your glory days like Napoleon Dynamite's uncle. And I screenshotted that and I sent it to my friends and I said the same idiot that thinks we're bombing Iran because they have the Epstein files thinks that Napoleon Dynamite is like a sick burn, like that's the coldest shit ever. Oh yeah? Well, your mentality is bad. Like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah,
idiot.
shut up, nigger.
You really can't
Fuck
even
off,
be
nigger.
mad at these people because
You're gonna
there
fall
is a
off.
Pareto distribution.
You're gonna
in the
fall
world.
off.
Everything
Shut
is
up, nigger.
stratified by IQ. And like the bottom 80%, they just can't help it, okay?
They
The
just
bottom
lose.
80% of IQ, these lower class debt
Anyone below
robbers,
120,
they just,
yeah.
they can't help
Anyone
it.
below 130
You
actually,
can't
is
get
you
mad.
just lose.
You can't hate them. You can't even let it bother you.
You just lose.
It's just what they are. It's like my bunny. It's like when my bunny would like run away from me or you know, eat the furniture. What are you gonna get mad at? That's what it does. So you ask one of these people, you ask one of these mouth breathers, hey, how would you feel if you didn't eat breakfast yesterday? And they say, but I did eat breakfast. You can't get mad. You can't take it personally. You just have to say, oh, okay, well, watch anything interesting on Netflix lately? And watch how they light up. Watch how
Oh,
their
yeah, I
eyes
did.
light up.
Yeah.
You know, you just have
Yeah,
to
so
learn
true.
how
It's
to-
it's so true, bro. It's
That's
so
all it
true.
is. You just kind of have to learn how to get along with these people. And you just pick one of their favorite topics of conversation. You say something like, so did you see that game last night? Watch how they light up. Watch how they glow. And you really can make a connection. And
Yep.
it might not be meaningful for you, but it'll be meaningful for them. And I think that's pretty charitable. So anyway, so I try not to get mad anymore. I try to just let it go, but it is frustrating to be in that upper quintile.
If bro-ibers want to infiltrate
Oh, it's so
the
true,
party
bro.
that we prescribe, how should we go about campaigns? Do we want to promote subpar candidates like Trump and Vance outwardly to gain trust, or do we avoid that in favor of other avenues of influence?
It's not about promoting, it's about volunteering. You know, if you're a money guy, then you give money to a campaign or a nonprofit. If you are a low-level guy, you get involved and volunteer in a campaign. And you just volunteer for any campaign. Presidential campaign, governor campaign, senator, just the upcoming election that's the easiest to do. Send them an email and get involved.
Jesus
Just
fucking
network.
Lord.
It's
Sorry.
just basic networking. And you know, I'm going to be honest with you. This is a filter. If you don't know how to do it, then don't do it. Okay? There are people that are going to be smart enough to do this, and those are the people that are going to figure it out. And if you need somebody to hold your hand, then you're not smart enough to do it. That's why I don't like to explain it. It's sort of like a puzzle. So for people that need me to hold your hand and tell you how to do it, you're not going to make it. I don't want to hear anybody ask me, how do I get involved in politics? It's really fucking easy and not that hard at all. If you're in college, where do you think you should go if you're in college? College Republicans. No fucking shit. If you can't figure that out, kill yourself and don't even bother us. Don't even waste our time. If you're not in college, how do you think you should get involved? Join a fucking campaign, obviously. How do I do that? Go to their fucking website and send them a fucking fuck-ass email, okay? Obviously. If you're not smart
Send
enough
them
to
a
figure that out,
fuck-ass.
you're not smart enough to be in politics, you should do something else. I'm so serious. Nothing irritates me more than
Can you imagine I got
stupid
involved in
questions,
politics? That'd
Stupid
be so funny.
idiots asking dumb questions that are easy to answer.
Problem is that I
Because it's
just
not
won't be a
what we want.
pedophile, and I
I
won't.
know people that have started
I won't support
entire
Jews.
organizations from scratch. They're groypers. I've never met them, and by the time I meet them, they have a network already, and they're high level. Those are the kinds of people we need. We need people that are self-starters, people that can take initiative, people can take it from 0 to 1. If you're some dumbass that says, what should I do? You're fucking useless. You're useless. What can you do? I don't know. Cut my fucking lawn. You know, if you're somebody that needs to be asked, what can I do? Then it's like, I don't know, tie my shoes, clean my dishes. Like, we don't need people that need to be told what to do. We need people that are going to tell me what they can do. Show me what you can do. We need people with ideas. We need leaders. We need people that are going to step up to the plate, and everybody's
Yeah,
going
well,
to do kind of their own thing.
Problem is, like, society treats everybody like a slave. That's the problem, is it conditions people to become slaves. So, I kind of get it. Look, like, working in a normal workplace, you're like,